I promise you, you do not have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to doing something new to really pursue the things you want in your life. You have experience you may not even realize you can use to do the things you want to do that will make your path to achieving your goals for yourself so much faster. For example, I was recently able to write, design, and self-publish something, namely a cute copy of the Constitution in one weekend. Just one, but it's because I had experience that made it a million times faster because I used what I'd already created to create this new thing because there weren't any cute versions of it out there, so I made one. So let's talk about it and how you can apply it to a goal you have too. Hey friends, how's it going? Thank God it's spring. 'Twas not a wild winter for me though. In fact, I moved across the country to warmer pastures and literal pastures at that. I'm in Austin, Texas now, but I still love spring. So if you're watching this when it airs, and if you're in the Western Hemisphere, may an explosion of flowers accompany you today. A good explosion just in case we need to clarify that. And today we're going to talk about how achieving the things you want to achieve are way easier than you think they are and how you can likely use what you already have to do it faster. Yes, achieving your goals is going to require work. Unfortunately, yes, getting results you've never had will require you to do things you've never done. But that doesn't mean you haven't done very similar things you may be forgetting about that will help you do these new things much faster. You probably have so many foundations built that you may not recognize that you've already built, which means you're likely not actually at the beginning of your journey after all. And you're also likely so many steps ahead of where you thought you were, which means you're likely closer to achieving your goals than you think you may be. So we're going to explore those today so we can get you to the next version of the life you want to live much faster than you probably realize is possible today. And real quick, before we dig in, for my new friends here, hi, I'm Bethany, and I create content to empower you to live your best, most authentic life as the truest to you version of who you are. And I give you the tools and resources to do that here. And I should say, if we're not official friends yet, I'd love to keep hanging out with you. And we can do that if you subscribe to the show here and or come hang out with me where I'm most active, which is on the gram at Bethany, where I share daily empowerment for you and even more bite-sized bits. All right, let's get to it. Let's start by thinking of a dream or goal you have for your life. Maybe it's to improve your physical health or your mental health or your relationships or maybe your work-life balance. Or you want to build a business or find and start a new job or switch careers altogether. Maybe you want to move to somewhere that suits your lifestyle better. Maybe you want to save more money. Maybe you want to buy a house, and maybe it's literally everything I just said. But for this exercise, think of one thing specifically you want to achieve so we can tease it out further and see just how much further you are than you may think you are today toward achieving that goal. Okay, now that you hopefully have your thing you're thinking of, when you consider the steps you have to take and the things you have to do in order to achieve it, let's ask some new questions about those. What have you already done that is similar to what you want to achieve? Really dig here for a connection, because if you, for example, want to start a new career than the one you're currently in, though you may not have switched careers before, you had to start somewhere in the career you're in, right? That counts because you can replicate some of those steps you took when you were starting out in your current career, like learning about the field or getting experience in it, even if it's unpaid and on the side, or if you're taking courses or getting credentials on the side to start a new career. And that's what you're doing when you're switching careers too, right? So think of it that way. Another thing you can ask yourself along those same lines is, what steps have you taken before that looks similar to the steps you would have to take to accomplish this new goal? And what can you replicate from what you've already done in order to do what you want to do now even faster? I promise you, you have so much more experience you can reuse than you may think. I mentioned earlier that I recently wrote, designed, edited, and self-published something in one weekend. That's a pretty copy of the Constitution of the United States. I think it's so cute. I hope you do too, okay? Look at that. I adore it. I hope you do too. And it's available, by the way, on Amazon if you want one too. But this is how that process went for me and why it was so fast. I was driving one morning and thought about how many people I'd seen flocking on social media to get a solid copy of the Constitution when some government websites had been going down randomly at the time in the US. And the videos I saw were all of women. And I looked on Amazon to see if there were any particularly pretty copies of the Constitution. And I didn't see any. The nicely designed ones looked a little more like they could sit on an attorney's desk, like pretty in that they were leathery looking or things like that. But the rest of them were very plain, no offense. So I saw an opportunity in the market. And since the Constitution is in public domain, I was able to reprint it legally. Now, the background here is that I've self-published twice before this, and I still had the templates I made on Canva for the exact size book I wanted to make again from the layoff journal, which was created for those going through a layoff at the time I was going through one and wished I'd had that resource, also available on Amazon. So I used the templates I created again, and I'd self-published that one on Amazon, so I knew the process. And though it had been about 2 years prior, things were pretty similar in terms of that process. So because I design in Canva every day, it was super easy once I decided to use a cherry blossom theme as a nod to the cherry blossoms around DC in the spring to decorate my copy of the Constitution. And it was pretty plug and play from there, and perhaps the truest example of working smarter and not harder I've done recently. So after that example, let's ask those questions again about the dream or goal you have that you want to achieve faster using what you already have accomplished and create and know to make that process faster for you. So what have you already done that is similar to what you want to achieve? Think about what you can reuse that you've already made or processes that you can repeat and you've already done. What steps have you taken before that look similar to the steps you would have to take to accomplish this new goal? Think about how you set aside time to achieve a goal in the past that is similar or even different. Where can you fit time to work toward this goal into your schedule in a similar way that fits your lifestyle today? And finally, what can you replicate from what you've already done in order to do what you want to do now even faster? Can you literally plug and play like I did with self-publishing? Even if time has passed since you last did something similar to this, can you use the same principles you did before? All right, I hope that was helpful. And this is also the same type of concept that quantum leaping is. So if you want to learn more about 10xing your results by working smarter and not harder, episode 59 of the show talks entirely about that concept too. And I'll link that in the show notes here for you. Okay, that's all for today. And if you like this episode, will you do me a favor and give it a thumbs up? Share it with a friend, rate it, or subscribe because I would love to keep hanging out with you here or on Instagram at Bethany. And hey, if you're feeling stuck right now and want someone, aka me, to guide you through the exact simple steps of getting unstuck and getting moving on your goal right now to feel happier, I have a free mini course you can watch now and a full-length one if you really love it. And you can find that at juliebethany.com/courses or in the show notes here. And I'll also share some other things you can watch and enjoy after Kippen makes her episodely appearance too. I hope you go today and start to live the life of your dreams as the best, most authentic, truest to you version of yourself you can be. Because when you do that, you show others it's possible for them too. And please let me know if you want to know how to self-publish. If you want a full episode on that, it is so easy, in my humble opinion, okay? This may look like a really big accomplishment, and I'm proud of myself for it. I actually have 3 things I've self-published, but if you want to know how to do that, it's really easy. So let me know if you want a full episode on that because I would be happy to make one for you. All right, I'll see you all soon. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Let me know in the comments if you have a specific goal that you are chasing after today. Bye for now. Can you say hi? What was that? I didn't catch that. Thank you, Kippen. That was great. Good job. That was a good action shot. Good job, Kippen. Okay, bye everyone.